Class 24 locomotives. This H0 model came from the company Eisenbahnmodellbau in Zwickau in the former GDR. It was manufactured in the 1970s. In contrast, the original Class 24 locomotives were built already between 1928 and 1940. They were primarily used as passenger locomotives by the Deutsche Reichsbahn and Deutsche Bahn. A total of 95 Class 24 locomotives were produced. They were used all exclusively for standard gauge and had a length over the buffers of 16,955 millimeters, so almost 17 meters. With an empty weight of 52 tons, or a service weight including the tender of over 100 tons, they could carry roughly 6 tons of coal. The tenders of number 3T16 or 3T17 were used. These locomotives reached top speeds of 90 kilometers per hour or 50 kilometers per hour if the tender was in front. The 24 series was largely identical to the 64 series. Interestingly, for example, the boiler, cylinder, engine or the wheel sets were exchangeable. However, not all locomotives of this series looked completely identical. For example, all early locomotives had the large Wagner smoke deflectors, in contrast to the later locomotives from Deutsche Bahn, which had Witte smoke deflectors. But there were also other deviating designs for individual locomotives. Since all of them in this series were built between 1928 and 1940, they were all in service with the Deutsche Reichsbahn until 1945. The very first locomotives were distributed extensively across the country. Later locomotives of this series came then to Königsberg on grand scale. However, many locomotives were relocated during the course of the Second World War. After the end of the war, there were a total of 47 locomotives in the western zones of occupation and thus with the Deutsche Bundesbahn. Some of these were still in use for many years. For example, the ones used in Schleswig-Holstein in the very far north of Germany were used until 1960. Only 4 samples remained in the eastern occupation zone and thus with the Deutsche Reichsbahn. In the course of almost 10 years, those 4 were handed over twice to another headquarter and ended up in the city of Magdeburg in 1956. The last of these was then sold to West Germany in 1972. However, by the end of the Second World War, further 34 locomotives of this series remained in Poland. They were used there until 1976 actually. Today, only 4 locomotives of the 24 series have been preserved, 3 within Germany and 1 in Poland.